Have you ever wondered why iPhones still charge so slowly compared to most Android phones? It's been a common complaint for years. While Android phones zip through charging at 65 watts, 80 watts, or even higher, iPhones are still hanging, out in the slow lane. But now, things might be about to change. Kind of. The iPhone 17 series could finally bring faster charging, but here's the twist. It might not happen through a cable. Let's start with the facts. According to a new iPhone report from Taiwan's NCC database, Apple seems to be getting ready to launch a new MagSafe charger. And this one doesn't stop at 25 watts like the current model. Instead, it supports up to 45 watts of power output. That's a big jump, almost double. But before you get too excited, there's a catch. This full 45-watt speed will only work with future iPhones that support Qi 2.2, an upgraded version of the wireless charging standard. And right now, it looks like only the upcoming iPhone 17 series will support it. Apple has already tested this charger with several devices, including the iPhone 16 and even the older iPhone 11. But only the newer models built for Qi 2.2 will be able to reach those full speeds. So what is Qi 2.2 and why does it matter? Qi 2.2 isn't just about more watts. It also improves how the magnets line up with the phone, which means more efficient charging and less heat. Plus, it still works with older phones. They just won't charge as fast. This shows that Apple is really pushing wireless charging forward, and honestly, it's about time. For comparison, the iPhone 15 Pro Max still charges at around 27 watts through a cable. Not bad, but nothing close to what you'll find on many Android phones. Interestingly, while the iPhone 16 series didn't get a big bump in wired charging, tests show that under heavy use, like when you're gaming or using a demanding app, the power can briefly spike up to 38 watts, but the bigger improvement came from wireless charging. Apple quietly increased MagSafe speeds from 15 watts to 25 watts on the iPhone 16 series. Now, with the iPhone 17 series expected to support 45-watt wireless charging, MagSafe might actually become the fastest way to charge your iPhone. Let that sink in. We could reach a point where wireless charging is faster than wired charging on an iPhone, and that brings up an interesting thought. Is Apple preparing to remove the charging port completely? The idea of a portless iPhone has been floating around for years. With stronger magnets, better wireless speeds, and features like wireless data transfer slowly improving, we might be getting closer to that future. Have you ever seen a company leak its own products by accident? Well, that's exactly what just happened with Samsung. And no, it wasn't a hidden tweet or an accidental image. This time, Samsung confirmed the names of its upcoming foldable phones through its own app. Yup, Samsung kind of spoiled its own surprise. Let's break down what happened. For months now, people have been talking about Samsung's next foldable phones, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and the Galaxy Z Flip 7. We've seen leaks, heard rumors, and even some wild guesses, like a possible Ultra version of the Fold. But nothing was official, until now. What gave it away? The answer is almost funny. The Samsung Internet Browser app. A beta version of this app showed up on the Galaxy Store recently. And if you read the app's description, it clearly mentions that it's made for the Fold 7 and Flip 7. That's right. Samsung just confirmed the names of the two new foldables inside its own app. This was first noticed by the people over at Galaxy Club, and yes, the listing was still live at the time they reported it. But there's a catch. You can't see this if you're using just any Samsung phone. You need to be running One UI 8, which is currently in beta and only available on the new Galaxy S25 phones. So, most people wouldn't have seen this unless they were part of the beta. But clearly, someone at Samsung didn't think curious users would go poking around in the Galaxy Store. Now, this leak does a few things. First, it confirms the official names, Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Galaxy Z Flip 7. These names were expected, but now we know they're real. Second, it pretty much shuts down the idea of a Fold Ultra. Some people believed Samsung might release a higher-end version of the Fold, possibly with more features, a bigger display, or even a better camera setup. But this leak makes it clear that the Fold 7 and Flip 7 are the main stars for now. That Ultra teaser Samsung dropped a while back? Probably just clever marketing. Now, what can we expect at Samsung's next big event? If all the reports are right, Samsung is planning its Summer Unpacked event for early July. There's no confirmed date yet, but it could happen in New York, like some of their past launch events. At that event, we'll likely see the Galaxy Z Fold 7, Z Flip 7, and maybe even a more affordable Galaxy Z Flip 7 FE, possibly a fan edition model. There's also talk about Samsung working on a tri-folding phone, something with 3 parts that fold out. That device might only launch in China and South Korea at first, though, and just for fun. Imagine if the actual unpacked date ends up leaking through another Samsung app. Let's hope they're a bit more careful next time. What if your next iPhone could run faster, use less battery, and stay cooler, all at the same time? Sounds like a dream, right? But according to new leaks, Apple might actually be getting close to making it happen with the iPhone 18 Pro. And the secret lies in something you can't even see: the A20 chip. Let's break it down in simple terms. We haven't even seen the iPhone 17 yet, but the iPhone 18 is already stealing some of the spotlight. It's expected to launch in 2026, and if these rumors are true, it could be one of Apple's biggest upgrades in years. Now you might be thinking, didn't the iPhone 17 already get a redesign? And didn't the iPhone 16 bring some chip changes? Yes, but the iPhone 18 Pro might go way beyond that. According to analyst Jeff Pugh, Apple's working on a brand new chip called the A20. This chip is expected to be built using Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company's 2-nanometer process. That's smaller than any iPhone chip we've seen before. Just to compare, the chip in the iPhone 15 Pro, the A17 Pro, uses a 3-nanometer process. Even the upcoming A18 and A19 chips will still stick to that same 3-nanometer tech, just more refined versions. But the A20, it's different. It's smaller, faster, and more efficient. In fact, this 2-nanometer chip is rumored to be 15% faster and could use up to 30% less power than the previous chip. That means better performance without draining your battery as quickly. Imagine using your phone for longer, even while doing heavy tasks like gaming or video editing. And there's more. The A20 might also come with a totally new chip layout, something called Wafer-Level Multi-Chip Module, or WMCM for short. In simple terms, this means the memory, the part that helps the phone run apps smoothly, could be placed much closer to the processor itself. What's the benefit? Less distance for data to travel means faster speeds and less heat. This could also help the iPhone run cooler, which usually means better battery life too. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. Jeff Pugh believes this A20 chip won't just power the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max. It might also be used in Apple's first foldable phone, expected to be similar to the Galaxy Z Fold models. Imagine that. A foldable iPhone powered by one of the most efficient and powerful chips Apple has ever made. Of course, not everyone agrees. Analyst Ming-Chi Kuo earlier said that all iPhone 18 models would have this 2-nanometer chip, but later, he changed his view, saying it will likely be just for the Pro models. Here's why this chip upgrade matters so much. Not just because it's faster. Honestly, most flagship phones are already super fast. What really makes a difference in everyday use is battery life and how cool your phone stays, even under stress.